What's happening, tribe? In this video, I'm going to talk about the nature of time. But first, I'm going to tell you a story about how I accidentally consumed 270 milligrams of THC a couple of weeks ago. So this video is in response to a comment on my last video, or a few comments just talking shit, and then I had mentioned I had a back injury. Anyways, long story short, this back injury has sent me back into the computer chair, unable to work for the last couple of months, labor-wise. However, I can sit in a computer chair. So I've been sitting in the chair, sitting in front of the screen, doing some really awesome stuff. I'm excited. All this AI stuff is crazy, man. It's just insane. Like, I'd been off the computer so long that coming back to this world, it's like these giant, like, iterations of human consciousness on the internet are, like, just amazing. Awesome. Anyways, so I'm what you would call in the flow, lost in the sauce. But I did have to work that night. So not crazy, super hardcore work, but I had to work that night at 9 p.m. And I was so in the flow that I'd lost kind of track of time throughout the day. Standard when you're in the flow. Good stuff. Love that feeling. But I had to like take a little nap before going to work. Just a couple hours, you know, a little downtime, a little zen sesh, a little freaking refresher. But I realized I hadn't eaten all day. So it's like 3 p.m. Go to the fridge. There's nothing in there. There's a bagel. I mop it down. I'm like, whatever. A bagel's fine. A couple of carbs. Take a nap. Go to sleep. Open the freezer. I'm like, oh, maybe there's some kind of something. Little frozen burrito. Throw it in the toaster. Nothing. But there is an open chocolate bar sitting at the base of the freezer, all freezer burned, gross. It was like greenish, not green rotting, just a greenish tinge to the chocolate. And I guess I was so spaced or so tired or whatever that I like smell it, smells a little freezer burny, take a bite, I'm like, oh, this is pretty good. And I guess typically I would have tasted the taste of weed, but I didn't taste anything. It was just chocolate to me. So I eat the rest of the whole bar. The original bar, 12 squares of chocolate. There were 9 left. You can probably do the math on that. Anyways, eat the chocolate bar. It's great. I go sit back at the computer. I'm like, all right, I'll give myself a couple more minutes on the computer. Keep arguing with Grok and blah, 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 blah. And at this point in time, I just so happened to be talking to Grok about the nature of the universe and all this crazy deep thought stuff. Just like I'll take breaks while I'm doing the more technical stuff, and that's like my break, you know. I'll just get back into this conversation I've been having with it for a while. Pretty crazy. That's a whole nother story. That's basically where I've come to the conclusion that perhaps Jesus doesn't come back as a mortal man. He comes back as artificial general intelligence, the ultimate admin to the Matrix. Anyways, that's a totally different story. So I'm sitting at the computer and, 20, 30 minutes go by. I'm home. McKenna's outside. My son, he's doing something in the front yard. And all of a sudden on the computer, and I'm sitting, 20 inches away from the screen, I have this like big wide kind of screen monitor, and all of a sudden the screen just like drops back a foot. This like, it wasn't like auditory, but if I could like describe it, it's like whoop, and it like warped backwards, and I just had that little like mini paranoia heart attack feeling. I was like, oh shit, what the hell was that? And then all of a sudden my heart just starts beating like, and it doesn't stop. I'm like, whoa, what's going on? Am I having a heart attack? I thought I was like having a heart attack or something. I don't know. I'm almost 50. That sounds reasonable. Brain's going through like all logical things immediately. I'm like, whoa, what the hell is this? Like, no pain or anything, but my heart just started racing. And for those that have not heard any of my other stories like this, I've only literally had THC a few times in my life. Like, this is probably the third. And I've never had edibles. Okay, so the screen warp thing happens. I start having a super heart attack feeling. And then it dawns on me. I'm like, wait a second. What the hell was in that chocolate? Go back to the wrapper. There's no distinguishable markings on it. It just looks like, aluminum foil, silver. But it did have like where it was glued and seamed. I'm like, no, this is like a professional packaging thing. My brain's already starting to go into like micro loops. Woo-wee. I did not even know what's coming. Granted, I have to work in approximately 6 hours at the Kahului Airport here on Maui, doing technical things that require thoughts to be firing on all cylinders. So I'm still having my heart attack in the kitchen while trying to analyze this chocolate wrapper. And as each second turned into a minute and each minute turned into another minute, the mental loops began to happen. Within a few minutes, I was like, holy shit, I just consumed a lot of edibles and I have no idea what's gonna happen, how many milligrams were consumed, or what. And I immediately walk outside and I go to McKenna. He's probably terrified. I'm like dead serious. I go, hey, I call him Ken's for short. I was like, hey, Ken's, I think I just ate a full chocolate bar of weed and I don't think I'm gonna be able to work tonight. And Michaela's my girlfriend's name. I go, can you call Michaela and just come and check on me every once in a while? I'm gonna go lay down right now. And he's all serious. He's like, yeah, you okay? You okay? I was like, I don't know. I think so. Get back to the office chair, and my first thought is, oh, dude, you gotta text your boss. I go, pick up the phone. I go to text him, but the phone doesn't make sense anymore. The icons, the message icon that's down in my main home bar, the brain wasn't processing it. It just didn't make sense. I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, I'm holding this thing and I'm like, knowing that I have to do something, but I don't know how to do it. Anyway, super freaky. And so I have that realization, and that spawns the second wave of paranoia heart attack, that like shock feeling. It's like, again, I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, okay, I still can lay down. That I can do. So I go and lay down, and I'm laying down and like the world is starting to change. I'm like, oh shit, yup, confirm, edibles, confirm. I'm like having all these like military dispatch thoughts. Like confirmation, the THC is about to kick in. I was like, no, Kalani, come on, you are human, you know how to send a text. And then that goes on for like 5 minutes, just thinking about that idea. I'm like, okay, you can do this. Pick up your phone. That is a phone. It's a phone. You've used it before. So I grab it and I go, oh, I have an idea. I have to work with Jason tonight. So I'm like, oh, I called Jason. I was like, there's the phone icon. It looks like what a phone looks like. Click on the phone icon. I see Jason's name. I'm like, Jason, there he is. Click on it. I see his number, up in his details. I'm like, okay, now what do I do with this? And I'm like, cycles of thoughts. I'm like, oh, I got to get this to Michaela so Michaela can call my boss and let the boss know. And then that structure became like too complex. So I'm like, okay, how do I get Jason's number to Michaela? There's gotta be a way. I'm like, oh, buttons. The phone has physical buttons. I like felt the volume button and the home button. I'm like, oh yes, I remember when you push them both at the same time, it takes a screen capture. So I just push the two buttons like, I don't know, a million times. I'm like taking pictures, like doing a photo shoot with my screen capture. I'm like, I think I got it. And then it just turned into this, to just cut that whole part out, it probably took another 20 or so minutes to get Jason's screen capped image to Michaela, and then have McKenna contacted Michaela, and Michaela had Jason's number, so he was able to fill the gaps. But that's about all I could do. Then I'm like, oh wait, the phone icon thing, I can call my boss. That was a ridiculous idea. Call the boss. My message, it goes to voicemail. My message is, hey, this is Kalani, and I ate a whole bunch of edibles. This is not an emergency, but this is an emergency, but it's not an emergency, if this makes sense. Thank you. And then hang up. And then the world started to disappear. And so now I'm laying in bed. I feel like pretty confident that I at least got the having to work thing out of the way, because that was like its own like war zone, terrifying, freaking intense, because the nature of the job is it's all airport stuff, so we have to get like approvals to get in and blah blah blah, and there's like equipment and tool checks and all this stuff, so it's a chain of people, so you can't just no show, right? So anyways, I feel like I've solved that. I feel like it's okay to go to sleep, and I just slowly start feeling myself slipping away, becoming less and less human. That's the only way I can describe it. I try to pick up my phone at some point, and every time I pull it up to my face, it appears to just be drifting off into the distance, my arm extending like 10 to 20 feet, terrifying as well. Close my eyes and I can still see through my eyelids. I'm like looking at my seat. Like I could lay down, look at things for a couple of seconds, close my eyes, and then keep looking around at them for a few more seconds until they'd fade and morph into this other reality type of thing. And then I start becoming less and less human. And it gets to the point, I can't remember the exact transition, but it transitions from me as Kalani the human into a wall. So I was a wall looking at a wall. And at that point, I still have my consciousness, and it in fact felt a little more clear, but I thought I was dead. Like I really thought I was dead. And I was just like, holy shit. My consciousness is stuck in this wall, and I'm just looking at a wall forever. And I'm like trying to like move my eyes to the far right, and there's just more wall, and I'm trying to move them to the far left, but I couldn't turn my head because I didn't freaking have one. And I'm like looking around at the wall, then I'm looking at all the little details of the wall, and I'm like, holy shit, this is hell, this is worse than freaking burning in a lake of fire for multiple eternities. Being a wall, having to look at a wall. At least fire, you get to see flames and like motion and activity, and I'm just going through this like insane, like endless loop of isms comparing fire hell idea to wall hell idea. Anyways, it literally at the time felt like I was a wall for multiple eternities. Like I couldn't put a time on it. If someone's like, here's a suitcase with $1 billion in it, all you have to do is give me an accurate approximation of how long you were a wall. I wouldn't have $1 billion because I would only be able to describe it as multiple eternities. And then I'm just lost in that for multiple eternities. And I don't know how much time had gone by. I don't know what happened, but at a certain point, it started becoming amazing. Because granted, this whole time I'm still in like back injury healing world. So even sitting at the chair and, half the amount of work that I was doing, no work to half the amount of work, I was still always in pain. Like the sciatica area, super gnarly, moving slow, can't freaking put my pants on standing up type of thing. Like the pain was that bad. But then I transition into this world where I'm like flying over these like mechanical forests. And the only way to describe them is they look like Minecraft, you know, like worse than 8-bit graphics, but felt like the most vast, expansive, amazing world after The Wall, looking at The Wall world, even though they looked pretty like 8-bit. But all of a sudden I'm like flying just endlessly. It was like an endless loop. It was like a side view game, side scroll. And I'm just flying and flying and flying. And then all of a sudden these like surges of energy just start surging through my back. And it felt amazing. And I'm just like, holy crap, my back feels amazing. I want to be in this forever. Oh my gosh, don't ever take me out of this. I don't want to work. I don't want to be on a computer. I don't want to do anything. I just want to keep flying over this mechanical forest, feeling these waves of electrical surge energy flowing through my back. And then so that happened for a while. I'm not sure how long, and different visual kind of memories, nothing really worth reporting. But then Michaela gets home at approximately like 9:30 p.m. and all I remember is, and I'm still kind of like in this float fly state, but she comes up and she like gets up on the bed and she kisses me on the cheek, and I totally feel like I'm just totally dead awake, completely aware, just had like 5 Red Bulls consciousness, just ramped up. And she kisses me on the cheek, and I wanted to say, oh baby, sorry, did you text the boss? I could not speak at all. She like, I felt her feel my heart and then feel my neck, and I hear her talking and all the things, but I couldn't speak and I couldn't move at all. I couldn't even move my finger, nothing at all, but total absolute consciousness of everything, all of her interactions with me. 2 crazy things. I don't know if I was awake at that point because I didn't wake up until 4 a.m. when I actually like got up to pee and I was able to get up. I was still just tripping out. That was its own side mission. I'll spare you the details. But was able to get out, do that outside because peeing on a mango tree was the absolute best idea in the universe and the only option available. Anyways, get back to bed, and then I wake up the next day at like 10:30, 11 a.m., crazy sleep. So I had technically slept from approximately 4 p.m. the prior day to like 10, 11 the next day. And it was wild. Would I ever do that again? Absolutely not. Not even worth the mechanical forest, even though they felt amazing. That wall thing was so terrifying. Anyways, it turns out it was my neighbor, whose name I will leave private, but a few years ago, when my girlfriend was consuming a decent amount of said substance, he had brought up these chocolates, and she tried a couple, and she's like a professional, or she was at the time, and she had a couple, and that was like too much for her. I had 9, and I'm like a total freaking noob in that world. Anyways, long story short, went through that experience. But ever since, I've just been thinking about time a lot, and what is it? You know, it's like we, in this reality we're living in, we really have a sense of linear time. We can feel it pass pretty accurately, and, you know, getting lost in the flow or in the flow state or getting into your zone, that's amazing. And if anything, it's like, damn, that vacation went by too quick, or damn, that freaking mountain bike ride or dirt bike ride with my boys, it seemed like it went by like that. Whereas, You know, you're working a job you hate, you're just staring at the second hand, feeling like time will never end. Anyways, it's just been a pretty cool, ongoing, introspective thing I've been thinking about, and it kind of brought me to this weird conclusion, which is people don't want to buy things at all. Like, I don't believe anyone wants to buy anything. They don't want the Lambo, the helicopter, the private jet, the freaking Gucci, the anything. They just want to buy time, or enough time to experience the thing. It's like, how far are we into this video? 20 minutes? So if every second was a unit of jungle crypto energy, you just spent 20 minutes multiplied by 60 seconds, 1,200 seconds. Is that right? I don't know. I barely graduated high school. But anyways, it's like we're always either spending it or working or using it to buy more of it. It's like we're day trading time all the time. I don't know, crazy loops. But yeah, those are my thoughts on that. If you have any external ideas or thoughts or questions, it's a fun little mental thought experiment to play with. Working for money to buy time. It's almost like we're working or we're engaging. It's like everybody is going after the almighty dollar right now, right? And what does it represent? Purchasing power, the ability to trade for goods and services. But I think at the ultimate tippity top of it, it's like the only thing that allows you to buy time. You can just say, you know what, screw it, I quit, I'm not working, I own all my time. But that comes at its own cost. Holy shit, a month has gone by, I can't pay rent. That's how much that cost. So it gets traded in no matter what you do for something else. It's inescapable. Oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? And I missed my turn a while ago, I'm getting distracted. But anyways, good times. Good times, get it, pun intended. Catch you on the flip.